chosen one, stop what you are doing right now. If there are people around you, people in the same room, people within earshot, I need you to step away from them. Find a quiet space. Close the door. Put on your headphones if you have them near you. Not because what I am about to say is dramatic, because it is specific, and specific things require specific conditions. This message was not designed for a crowd. It was not designed to be received in pieces with half your attention somewhere else. So if you need a moment to create that quiet for yourself, take it. I will be here. When you have found your space, take one real breath, not a shallow one, a real one. Let your chest open. Let your shoulders drop. Let whatever has been pulling at you from the outside step back for just a little while. Because what is about to happen in the next 30 minutes, I do not want you to miss any of it. And before we go any further, I want to tell you what this time is going to give you, because you deserve to know what you are staying for. By the time this message is complete, you are going to understand why this season of your life has felt the way it has and what it is actually preparing you for. You are going to receive language for something you have been carrying without words for a very long time. You are going to understand the specific signs that something significant is shifting in you and why those signs are not what you thought they were. And at the very end of this, I am going to speak something over your life that I believe you will carry long after this space has closed. Stay until the end. What I have saved for last is the part that matters most. Now, everything I am about to share with you in the next several minutes is yours freely. But if at any point your spirit tells you there is something more that belongs to your next step, something beyond what words alone can offer, that will be in the description and the pinned comment below. Only if you feel drawn. Only if it resonates. For now, settle in. Let your body go still. There is a word in ancient Hebrew. The word is sod. I am going to come back to it in a few minutes, because I believe it holds the key to something you have been wondering about yourself for a very long time. But first, I need to say something directly. You did not find this by accident. I know that is something people say. I know it can sound like comfort, language, the kind of thing you hear at the beginning of something and move past without really receiving. But I am not saying it for comfort. I am saying it because I have been in this space long enough to recognize a specific kind of person. The kind who ends up watching something like this, alone, in a quiet room, following something they cannot quite name. I know who that person is. Because that person is you. The season you have been in, the one that has felt like waiting, like suspension, like you are standing at the edge of something enormous, but have not yet been given permission to step forward. It is not random. It was not issued to you by mistake. It was not a punishment or a detour or a sign that something went wrong. And by the time I am done today, you are going to know exactly what it has been. Stay with me. Before I tell you what is happening underneath the surface of your life, before I show you the map, I want to name something first. I want to describe 5 specific things. And as I describe them, I want you to notice what happens in your body, not just in your mind. Because what I am about to name is not a theory, it is a pattern, a very specific pattern that belongs to a very specific kind of season. And the fact that you are here right now tells me you are in it. The first thing I want to name is what has been happening to your sleep. You have been waking up at unusual hours, not every night, but with enough regularity that you have noticed it. 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, sometimes earlier. You open your eyes and the room is dark and the world around you is completely still and your mind is inexplicably clearer sometimes than it is at any point during the day. You do not know what woke you. You do not know what to do with the clarity. So you lie there, in the dark, and eventually you drift back. But part of you remembers. This is not insomnia. Your body is processing something during those hours that the daylight simply cannot hold. There are things that can only be worked through in the dark, when the noise of the ordinary world has gone quiet. And your body knows that, even when your mind does not have a word for it. The second thing is a kind of tiredness that sleep does not fix. You have been exhausted in a way that goes deeper than physical. You can sleep 8 hours and wake up still carrying something in the chest, something across the shoulders, something underneath the ordinary surface of your day that runs on a kind of empty you cannot name. You have been going through your routines, functioning, managing, doing what needs to be done. But underneath all of that, something has been quietly running low in a way that rest alone does not restore. This is not burnout. This is the cost of compression, of being too large for too small a space for too long. And the exhaustion you feel is not a sign that you are falling apart. It is the signal of pressure building somewhere underneath you. The third thing is that certain environments have started to drain you in a way they never used to. Rooms that felt fine a year ago. Conversations that used to sustain you. Dynamics and spaces and social textures that you navigated without thinking. They now create a friction that you cannot explain to anyone around you without sounding dramatic or ungrateful or hard to please. Something in you has shifted. The frequency has moved upward. And what was once comfortable now fits the way a coat fits when you have grown 2 sizes since the last time you wore it. You are not being dramatic. You are being accurate. The word for what is happening is not sensitivity. It is calibration. The fourth thing is a restlessness around creating something. You have had the persistent feeling that you want to build something, make something, write something, begin something, and you cannot name exactly what. It is not ambition in the ordinary sense. It is more like a pressure looking for a channel, something reaching toward an outlet it has not found yet. And the not finding has started to feel urgent in a way that is difficult to sit still with. This is not frustration. This is the signal looking for a direction, and the direction is coming. The fifth thing is coherence appearing from unrelated sources. The same theme, the same phrase, the same word or idea arriving from 3 or 4 places that have nothing to do with each other in the same week, sometimes in the same day. A song. Something a stranger said. A page you opened to without deciding. A dream that left a residue you could not shake by morning. And the thing they all said was, somehow, the same thing. This is not your mind looking for patterns because it wants to find them. This is coherence. Something is speaking to you in a language you are just beginning to learn how to read. If those 5 things described your last few months, if they described your last few weeks, I want you to type 111 inches the comments below right now. Let it be your marker. Let it be the record that you were here, that this found you, that you heard it. Now, I want to tell you why. There is a word I planted at the very beginning of this. The word is sod, and I need you to hold it carefully as I explain it, because it is going to reframe something you may have been misunderstanding about yourself. In ancient Hebrew, the word sod does not mean what we usually mean when we say secret. When we say secret, we usually mean information being withheld, something hidden because someone does not want you to have it. A secret as concealment, as protection of the one who is hiding it. That is not what sod means. Sod is a sacred secret. A mystery that is not hidden to withhold, it is hidden to protect. It is held in reserve, kept from the noise and the ordinary world, until the person who was always meant to receive it is ready. Until they are able to carry it without being overwhelmed by what they are carrying. Until the vessel is strong enough for the weight it was built to hold. And I want to ask you something before I continue. What if the thing you have been wondering about yourself, the difference, the otherness, the persistent sense that you were built for something the ordinary world has not offered you yet? What if that is not a problem? What if it is not a flaw in your construction, not a deficit, not something that needs to be corrected before you can move forward? What if what you have been calling your struggle is actually a sod? Something being kept, something being protected, something reserved for the exact right moment, in the hands of the exact right person, at the exact point in their formation, when they can finally carry it well. I want to tell you about a man named Joseph. You may know the story. But I am not going to tell it as an inspiration story or a motivational arc. I am going to tell it as a map, because it is one of the most precise maps of the kind of season you are in that has ever been recorded. Joseph had a knowing from the time he was young, a sense clear, specific, unchosen of what he was carrying and what he was for. And that knowing was real. It was accurate. But it arrived before the world was ready to receive it. And, more importantly, it arrived before he was fully formed enough to carry it without it breaking things. So the formation happened in the dark, in the pit, in the prison, in the long seasons that looked from the outside like nothing, like a life going sideways, like delay and abandonment and the kind of disappointment that does not come with an explanation. And here is the thing I need you to hear, and I need you to hear it slowly. In the prison, Joseph did not know he was being prepared. He only knew he was confined. The preparation did not announce itself as preparation. It announced itself as confinement, as waiting, as the particular kind of loneliness that comes from carrying something true that no one around you can see or confirm. And then, without a gradual ramp-up, without a stage where the world slowly began to recognize what he carried, the door opened, not slightly, all the way. Your season has a door. Underneath the surface of what feels like waiting, underneath the exhaustion and the compression and the signs, you have been noticing. Something has been building, not weakening, not eroding, building. Think of it like this. Somewhere deep underground, there is a spring. You cannot see it. The people around you cannot see it. But the water is real. It has been moving through the earth for a long time, quietly, steadily, building pressure, following the path that opens before it, going deeper before it goes up. It is not stuck. It is not lost. It is not going nowhere. The spring is building toward a moment of emergence. And the only thing that determines when that emergence happens is whether the pressure has reached the right point and whether the ground above has finally given way. That spring is not a metaphor for something you might become one day. That spring is you, right now. And I hear this being placed on my heart for you clearly, and I will not hold it back. The words being spoken over you right now are these. You were not placed in this season to be forgotten. You were placed here because what is being formed in you cannot be formed anywhere else. And everything, every sign, every strange hour of wakefulness, every environment that started to feel too small, all of it has been part of the preparation of a vessel that is about to carry something remarkable into the world. This is only the first layer. What I want to show you next goes one level deeper, and it will explain something that has confused you about your own journey for longer than you might realize. If this is already landing somewhere real in you, let that recognition be worth acknowledging. Let the light of what you are receiving spread to someone else. And if the pattern I described, if the signs I named belong to your last few months, type, "I see it" in the comments below. Let those 3 words be real. Now, what we have been talking about, this idea of something hidden that is not missing, this quality of a frequency that has been real and present but has not yet found its channel, it connects to something that exists right at the intersection of ancient understanding and modern neuroscience. There is a tool. It is called the Genius Song, and it works with something in the brain that our conversation today is about to come back to a specific kind of brainwave that every person is born with, that the world's systems have been gradually quieting over time, and that can be reawakened. I am going to explain that fully in a few minutes. The science behind it, how it works, why I believe it belongs in this conversation. If your spirit is already curious, the link is in the description and the pinned comment below, only if you feel drawn to it. But right now, I need to show you the second revelation, because the second one changes how you understand everything that came before it. The first revelation was this: what you are carrying is not broken. It is being protected, like sod. Like Joseph in the prison before the door opened. like a spring building pressure underground that cannot be seen from the surface. The second revelation is this: the pressure you have been feeling is not the problem. The pressure is the preparation. And I want to explain that carefully because I think it is the thing most people in this season misunderstand most. There is a law, and I call it a law because it behaves like one, because it appears across every domain of life and every era of history. And the law is simply this: everything that is meant to emerge with genuine power must first incubate in hiddenness. Not because the hiddenness is punishment, because the hiddenness is physics. Seeds do not grow faster by being pulled out of the ground to check on them. Diamonds are not formed by reducing the pressure around them. They are formed by pressure that is sustained in the dark, beyond what seems bearable. And underground springs do not break the surface until the pressure beneath them has reached exactly the right point. Your season of hiddenness is not failure. Your season of hiddenness is the physics of what you are becoming. There were 3 specific things that had to happen in the quiet, and I want to name them because each one is something you cannot get anywhere else. The first is this: in the crowd, there are things that get taken. Opinions that reshape your knowing before it has had a chance to solidify. Voices louder than the voice you needed to hear. Comparisons that narrow what you were always meant to carry wide. And your season of solitude, however it has felt from the inside, protected you from that erosion. It kept the knowing intact while it was still forming itself. The second thing is this: there is a frequency that can only be heard in quiet, not metaphorically. The actual signal that has been trying to reach you and orient you has required silence to come through clearly. And the noise of ordinary life, the demands, the surface-level engagements, the constant acceleration, that noise is not neutral. It drowns out the very thing that has been trying to speak to you. You learned to hear something in this season that you could not have learned at full speed. And the third thing is the one most people miss. There is a root structure that has to deepen before the thing above the surface can survive what is coming. A tree that grows quickly in ideal conditions is fragile in the storm. But a tree that had to find its water in hard, dry soil, that tree has roots that go down in ways the easy-growing tree never developed. Your roots have been going down. And what breaks through the surface next is going to be able to survive things that would have destroyed you at an earlier point in your formation. Let me pause here for just a moment. You have been listening to this for a while now. And before I go to the next layer, I want to do something different. I just want you to notice where you are physically right now. The position you are in, the particular quality of the quiet around you. I want you to notice that you have stayed. A lot of people did not make it this far. And the fact that you are still here, still following this, still letting these things land where they need to land, that tells me something about you that I actually already knew before you arrived. You are the kind of person who follows something all the way through. That quality is going to matter more than you know. Now, there is something that lives in the gap between knowing what you are becoming and actually stepping into it. Something I have not named yet, because it needed the context we just built before it could be heard correctly. It is the fear, not the ordinary kind, not the fear of failing. Most people who have made it this far in their journey have already walked through that kind of fear more than once. This is something different. This is the fear of what happens if it actually works. The fear of what you become when the season of hiddenness ends and the emergence begins. The fear that you will step into your calling and discover that you are not quite what you thought you were, that everyone around you will see through you, that the version of you on the other side of this breakthrough will be unrecognizable not just to the people in your life, but to yourself. I want to speak directly to that fear, because it has been sitting in this room with us the entire time. That fear is not a sign that you are not ready. That is the thing I need you to hear most clearly right now. The people who moved into enormous responsibility without that fear, without any awareness of the weight of what they were carrying, they are the ones who eventually collapsed under it. The fear that lives in you is not a weakness. It is the sign of someone who actually understands what it means to carry something significant. And understanding the weight before you lift it is not a problem. It is evidence of wisdom. Let me say something else now, something I want you to receive, not analyze. You are allowed to carry the weight without knowing the destination yet. You are allowed to outgrow environments that used to feel like home. You are allowed to become someone that the people from your earlier chapter do not fully recognize. You are allowed to protect what is being built in you, even when you cannot explain to anyone what it is. You are allowed to be in the process of becoming and not have it fully formed yet. And you do not owe anyone an apology for any of that. Not one word of apology. I want to tell you about someone. There was a person who spent years believing that the thing that made her most different was her greatest liability. The way she sensed things before they happened. The way other people's pain would land in her body like it was her own. The way she knew things without being able to trace back to where the knowing came from. She spent years believing all of this was the part of her that needed to be managed, contained, quieted, made smaller before she could function well in the world. And then something shifted. She stopped trying to reduce it. She stopped apologizing for it. She let what was in her actually move. And what moved was the exact thing that had always been in her. And the world it unlocked was not the world she had been afraid of losing. It was the world she had been afraid to find. The thing she thought was the obstacle was the gift. The whole time. Your difference is not the thing you need to fix before you can step forward. Your difference is the thing that was always meant to take you through the door. If that is landing, if something in you just moved, type, "I'm ready" in the comments below. Not as a wish, as a declaration, as something real. Before I show you the third revelation and the tool I mentioned earlier, which I'm going to come back to fully in just a few minutes, there is one more thing I need to lay down first. Because what comes next is the piece that makes everything we have talked about fit together in a way that nothing else does. And this is the one that changes the context of everything. Stay with me. There was a man named Nikola Tesla, and I am not going to tell you his story as an inspiration story. I am going to tell it the way I told you the story of Joseph, as a structural parallel, as one more point on the same map. Tesla had an inner world that the outer world could not keep pace with. He could construct entire working systems inside his mind before touching a single physical material. He understood frequencies and the invisible architecture of the physical world in ways that made the scientific establishment of his time deeply uncomfortable. He was dismissed. He was defunded. He was, in many cases, deliberately erased from credit, from history, from the recognition that belonged to him. He died with very little. He spent enormous portions of his life in a kind of obscurity that, by any external measure, looked like a life that had not landed where it was supposed to. And then, decades after his death, the modern world discovered that it was already running on his ideas. The electricity in the room you are sitting in right now. The wireless transmission principles underlying the technology you use to find this. The understanding of resonant frequencies that has shaped entire fields of science and medicine, all of it flowing from the work of a man who spent years doing that work in a kind of hiddenness that the world had not yet learned to honor. The work was not lost, the work was held. The world was simply not ready yet, and then it was. There is a pattern here, and I want you to notice something about it. It is not coincidence that this pattern appears in Joseph, and in Tesla, and in every significant emergence that recorded history has documented. The law of hiddenness before emergence is not a spiritual metaphor or a comforting idea. It is the operating principle of everything that has ever mattered. Seeds and diamonds and underground springs and human beings who carry something the world has not yet found a place for. And the spring, the one we have been talking about through this entire conversation. It does not apologize for how long it took. It does not arrive at the surface with a disclaimer about the years it spent beneath it. It arrives with everything it built in those years. It arrives with the force of every season of pressure and quiet and going deeper. And when it breaks through, nothing above the surface could have manufactured that force. It could only have been built underground. You are not behind. You are not arriving late to something that already moved on without you. You are a spring that has been building to exactly the right pressure for exactly the right moment. And before this message ends, before we close this space, I am going to speak something over your life that I believe you will carry long after this is over. Stay with me until then. It is the reason this found you today. If something in you recognizes this, if 1111 belongs to your story, let it land in the comments below. Let it be the marker of someone who was here for all of this. And now, I want to give you a moment, just a moment. You have been holding a great deal through this conversation. You have been listening and processing and letting things land. And some of what has landed carries real weight. Not the weight that burdens, the weight that matters. The weight of things that are true. So before we go to what comes next, I just want to say this. You made it here. Not everyone does. The fact that you are still present, still following this all the way through, that says something about you. Something true. Something I do not want to walk past without naming. Thank you for being the kind of person who stays. Now, everything we have walked through today, the 5 signs, the underground spring, the word sod, the law of hiddenness, Joseph in the prison, Tesla in the obscurity, the fear that lives in the gap between knowing and stepping, all of it has been pointing toward one thing, the deepest truth, the one that makes everything else snap into place. Here it is, and I want to say it slowly, because it deserves to be said slowly. What you have been protecting in the hidden season of your life, what has been incubating in the quiet, building pressure in the dark, growing roots in the difficult soil, it was never yours to keep. It was never meant to stay underground forever. That was never the plan. It was yours to carry. And then, at the appointed moment, to give. Not to everyone. To specific people, in specific moments, in ways that only you with your specific formation and your specific wiring and your specific everything that makes you different are built to deliver. The secret was not being kept from the world. The secret was being kept for the world. What felt like isolation was actually incubation. What felt like being overlooked was actually being protected from exposure before you were ready. What felt like silence was actually the loudest kind of preparation. There is the kind that does not make noise, because all of its energy is going into the work. You are not broken. You are between. Your solitude is not punishment. It is preparation. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It is signal reception, the very quality that allows you to carry something that someone who is not tuned the way you are tuned simply could not hold. Your difference is not disorder, it is design. And I carry this in my heart for you right now, and I will not hold it back. What is being spoken over you is this. You were not placed in this season to be forgotten. You were placed here because what is being formed in you cannot be formed anywhere else. And the world that is waiting on the other side of your emergence is waiting for exactly you. Not a smaller version, not a safer version, not a version that has managed itself into something more acceptable. Exactly you, the full pressure spring, the diamond formed in the dark, the thing that was always going to break through and is breaking through right now. I want to do something with you before we continue, just for a moment. You do not need to close your eyes if you are driving or somewhere that needs your attention. Just with the part of your awareness that is free right now, I want you to imagine something. Imagine that the weight you have been carrying, the thing that has lived in your chest and your shoulders through this entire season, imagine it has a shape. Not a literal shape, just a sense of it. A form. Something you have been holding tightly. And now, imagine that shape beginning to loosen, not collapsing, not disappearing, just releasing its grip. The way a clenched hand eventually opens when the thing it was protecting is finally safe to release. Feel what it would feel like if the pressure that has been building inside you had somewhere to go, if the spring felt the ground above it give way just slightly, just enough to let the water find its direction. Hold that for a few seconds. That is not imagination, that is preparation. Now, before I show you the tool I mentioned, I want to bring everything together in plain language, because you deserve clarity before you receive anything else. What we covered today comes down to three things. The first, the signs you have been experiencing are not random. They are not symptoms of something going wrong. They are the recognizable markers of a specific season, a season of hiddenness before emergence. And those markers have a name and a purpose, and that purpose is pointing forward, not backward. The second, the pressure you have felt is not the obstacle. The pressure has been the mechanism, the character that formed in the quiet, the roots that went down in the difficult seasons, the knowing that solidified without the crowd there to reshape it. All of it has been building something that the world outside of you could not have built for you. And the third, what you have been protecting is not yours to keep, it is yours to give. And the version of you that has been forming in this season is the exact version that is equipped to give it well. That is what this has been about. That is what you came here for today. Now, let me come back to what I mentioned earlier, because it connects to everything we have walked through in a way that I think is going to land very clearly right now. In a lab at Princeton, researchers began documenting something that had already been observed and studied across MIT, Harvard, and several other leading research institutions, and what they were mapping was a specific pattern of brain activity, gamma waves. The brain operating at a particular frequency that is consistently associated with states of heightened intuition, accelerated creative access, and the kind of clarity where the right answer arrives before the reasoning mind has finished forming the question. And what the research revealed was this: every person is born with this frequency fully active. It is not something that has to be developed or earned. It is the factory default setting of the human brain. A kind of genius state that every child naturally inhabits before the world begins its work of quieting it. And the world does quiet it. A neuroscientist named Dr. Robert Lake spent 34 years studying exactly that process. What happens to this frequency as we move through modern education, modern environments, modern demands on the brain? He called what he observed the decline effect. The gradual suppression of gamma activity that begins, in most people, around the age of 7. Not because something goes wrong, but because the systems we are raised inside train the brain to operate in a different register, the register of compliance and performance and survival, rather than the register of flow and intuition and creative genius. By the time most people are adults, the gamma frequency that was once their default has become something they touch, only rarely. In moments of unexpected inspiration, in the dream state just before waking, in those unusual hours in the middle of the night when the mind goes clear without explanation. You know those moments. We named them at the very beginning of this conversation. But here is what Dr. Lake's 34 years discovered. That frequency can be reawakened, not rebuilt from scratch, because it was never destroyed. Just quieted, covered over by the noise of the world, and it can be brought back into its natural state through a process called brain entrainment, where specific sound frequencies guide the brain back into gamma, the way a tuning fork brings a string back into resonance with a tone it was always capable of producing. The tool he created from this research is called the Genius Song. It is a 7-minute audio track. You listen through headphones. You let the technology do what it was designed to do. No meditation experience needed. No technique to master. You listen, and the brain does what it was always designed to do when given the right signal. And I want you to hold this alongside everything we talked about today, because this is where the ancient and the scientific meet. The hidden genius that the Hebrew understanding called sod, the thing being protected until the right person was ready to receive it. There is a corresponding physiological reality. Your brain has been carrying a frequency that the world gradually quieted from the time you were a child. And the restlessness you feel, the signal looking for its channel, the unnamed knowing that keeps pressing upward, part of what drives all of that, is a brain trying to return to a state it has always been capable of. More than 18,000 people have used the Genius song. The refund rate is under 4%, which means more than 96 out of every 100 people who use it continue to use it beyond the guarantee window. Not because they felt pressure to, because they felt a difference. The guarantee is 100%. No time limit, no conditions. You use it, you experience it, and if at any point it is not what you were told it would be, you do not keep paying for something that did not deliver. The price is $39, not $49. The retail price you would find if you searched for it elsewhere. $39, available at this specific access point, delivered instantly to your email as a digital file. No shipping, no waiting. It arrives the moment you access it. I want to be honest about timing. This access, the $39 price, the 4 bonuses, the guarantee exists right now, at this specific point in time. It is not a permanent arrangement. And beyond the logistics of it, there is another kind of timing that I think matters more. The season you are in right now, this specific threshold, this particular readiness, this exact moment of the spring approaching the surface, it has its own window. The person who is watching this today is not in the same place they will be in a different season of their life. And what is available to you at this convergence of readiness and access is available right now. When you access the Genius song, 4 bonuses are included at no additional cost. A separate audio track calibrated specifically for children's brains before the decline effect has had a chance to take hold. The original book that the film The Secret drew its ideas from the source material, not the adaptation. A 22-minute guided visualization that walks through 4 specific areas of life. And a 4th resource that I believe is going to feel like exactly the right next step for where you are right now. The total value of those 4 bonuses is $80. They are included. One thing I want to say plainly, because I believe in saying the honest thing. The Genius song is a tool. It does what it does. It will not do the inner work that you have already been doing in this season. That work belongs to you, and no tool can replace it. What it will do is give your brain access to the frequency that makes everything else more available. The clarity, the intuition, the creative access that has been pressing at the door, those are already in you. The song is the signal that tells your nervous system that channel is still there. It was always there. Before you search for this anywhere else, the link in the description and the pinned comment below is the only place where the $39 access and all 4 bonuses exist together. Anywhere else, you will find a different price, a different arrangement. The link in this video was put there specifically for the person watching this video. The Genius song, description below, pinned comment below. Only if your spirit tells you this belongs to your next step. Only if it resonates. Now let me bring this home. Something happened in this space today, and I do not want to rush past it. Right now, across many different places and many different time zones and many different quiet rooms and late-night moments, people who carry what you carry are receiving exactly this kind of confirmation. And they do not know each other. They may never meet. But each of them is holding something that is true and real and has been worth protecting. You are not alone in this. You never were. If you are still here, if this went all the way to the end and something in you received what was being offered, type, "It is sealed," in the comments below. Let those words be real. Let them be the mark of what this hour was. And if this space gave you something worth keeping, let the light of it reach further than this room. If someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who has been unusually quiet lately, someone who has been pulling away without being able to explain why, someone who has been carrying something they cannot find the right words for, share this with them. Send it however you need to send it. This might be exactly the confirmation they have been waiting for. Your sending it could be the moment their season begins to make sense. And if what happened here belongs to your ongoing journey, stay connected. More is being prepared for your next season. Let it find you. For those who felt the call to what I shared earlier, it is waiting for you in the description and the pinned comment below. Now, let me close this the way it was meant to be closed. This hour was not ordinary. You came here carrying something unnamed, and you sat in the quiet, and you followed something all the way through. And I want to acknowledge what that means before I say anything else. The underground spring that has been building beneath the surface of your life, it is not stuck. It is not lost. It has not been doing nothing. It has been doing exactly what it was built to do. And the weight that has been sitting in your chest and across your shoulders and in the bone-deep exhaustion of this particular season, you can let it go now. Not the calling, not the knowing, not the thing you were meant to carry into the world. Just the story that said it was taking too long. Just the narrative that said you were behind. Just the old shape of yourself that was too small for what has been growing inside you. Let it fall. Right now. You do not need it anymore. It has done its work. And now, I want to say this clearly, with everything in me. You are not waiting to be chosen. You were chosen before you arrived. You are commissioned. You are equipped. You are sent, not to a perfect moment that has not arrived yet, but to this one. To the moment that begins, the second this space closes, and you carry what you received today back into the world that has been waiting for you. It is sealed. Do not rush away yet. Sit in this for 30 seconds. Let it settle all the way in. Let the spring find its new direction. Go now. What you were waiting for has already begun.